15a, we've got a quadratic equation. Now, a little hint here, if a quadratic equation says solve the equation giving your answer correct to one decimal place, decimal places means you're going to be using quadratic formula. Alright, so quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You must know that formula. Alright, so let's do that. X equals, also you must know that this is A, this is B, this is C. So negative B is negative 7 plus or minus square root of B squared is 49, so that's 7 squared, minus 4 times A is 2, times C is negative 5, all over 2 times 2. Okay, use your calculator to do the part under the third, so you should get that it's 49, and when you do the multiplication you're adding 40, so you should get the square root of 89 under there, all over 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, so to get your two answers, remember that you need to enter two things into your calculator. The first thing you need to enter is negative 7 plus root 89 over 4. The answer to that is 0.6. And the second answer is x equals negative 7 minus root 89 all over 4, which gives you negative 4.1. They're your two answers, and also a mark for working and using the formula. Alright, on to B, probability question. The bag contains 8 blue and 6 yellow marbles. A yellow marble is withdrawn from the bag and not replaced. Alright, so that means that there are 5 yellow left. A second marble is then withdrawn. Find the probability that the second marble is also yellow. Alright, we have 5 yellow. We initially had 14 marbles, but we took one out, so we've only got 13 left. That's it, 5 out of 13. Part 2. If instead 2 marbles are withdrawn at the same time from the original bag, draw a tree diagram showing the probabilities of all possible outcomes. Alright, you've got two options. You can either draw out a blue marble or a yellow marble. The second time round, again, you can draw out a blue or a yellow. Blue or a yellow. So the probability of first drawing out a blue, remember that there were 8 blue out of 14 marbles, and there were 6 yellow out of 14 marbles. If you drew out a blue first, then you only have 7 blue left out of 13. But you have 6 yellow left out of 13. If you drew out a yellow first, then you've got 8 blue out of 13, or 5 blue out of 13. So 2 marks for that tree diagram. Second part, find the probability that both marbles are yellow. So you're looking at this branch here, both marbles are yellow, and the way we do that, remembering, is we do 6 on 14, multiply as you go along your branches. So multiplied by 5 on 13. Which gives me 30 over 182, and that simplifies, use your calculator, to 15 on 91. And that's 1 mark for that. Alright, C, we've got a trigonometry question. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower AB from point D is 23 degrees. So the angle of elevation, mark that on your diagram. At the point C, 20 meters closer to the base. Now, that doesn't mean it's 20 meters from the base. It means it's closer. So from D to C is 20 meters closer. So that's the 20 meters there. And the angle of elevation is now 63. So that's the information that you had to mark on your diagram, and that was 1 mark. Find the angle DAC. So DAC is this angle here. I'm going to call it X to make it easier. Alright, so how do I find that angle? Looking at the information that I've got. So first of all, if I want to find this angle, I need to use its opposite side. But I also need okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself here. To find that angle, I just need to use angle sum and triangle rules. So first of all, if that angle there is 63, then this angle here will be 180 minus 63. And that is, what's that? 117. And then angle sum, so 180 minus 117 minus 23 gives me an angle up here of 40 degrees. Okay, so that's part 2, you had to find that angle. Part 3, let's just move this up. Hence find the length of AC correct to 1 decimal place. So the length of AC, so we're talking about this length here, and this one, this time I'll call it X. So I've got this side here, and I have its opposite angle here. I've also got this side here, and its opposite angle over here. So because I have 2 angles and they're opposite sides, then I'll be using the sine rule. So I'm finding X, so I put X over sine 23 equals 20 over sine 40. So X equals 20 over sine 40 times by sine 23. And when you do that on your calculator, you should get that X is equal to 12.2 meters. Alright, moving on to D, which is the last question on the paper. Alright, we have a rectangle with sides x plus 4 and x plus 8, and its area is 357 centimeters squared. Form a quadratic equation from this information. Alright, how do we find the area of a rectangle? We do length times width. So length times width is x plus 4 multiplied by x plus 8. You must have those brackets in. Alright, if you don't have those brackets in and you write x plus 4 times x plus 8, the only things you're multiplying are the 4 and the x. So that is incorrect. So length times width is equal to the area, and it tells me that the area is 357. So that's my quadratic equation. Solve the equation to find possible values for x. Alright, so before I solve it, I need to expand this bracket. So I need to do x times x is x squared, x times 8 is 8x, x times 4 is 4x, 4 times 8 is 32, and that equals 357. I also need to get simplify my like terms and get the 357 onto the left so that the equation is equal to 0. So I have x squared plus 12x. 32 minus 57 is negative 325, which equals 0. Now, it's possible that there are 2 whole numbers that multiply to give negative 325 and add to give 12. But I can't think what they are, and if you can't think what they are, then use the quadratic formula. So again, quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Negative b would be negative 12 plus or minus square root of b squared is 144 minus 4 times a is 1 times c is negative 325 all over 2 times a, which is 2. Okay, so putting that into your calculator, putting that into your calculator, you should get negative 12 plus or minus, do the part that's under the square root sign there, and what you should get is 1444 all over 2. Alright, when you use your calculator and you do the two separate calculations, you should get that x equals 13 and x equals negative 25. Now, don't stop there. It's a word question. Think about what it's asking you. So let's come back up and have a look at it. It says solve the equation to find possible values for x. Now remembering that we've got a rectangle here and we're talking about area, and x is part of the length or width of it. So x needs to be, or the length and width need to be positive values. If I have an x value of negative 25, and I put that in here, negative 25 plus 4, well that's negative 21. I can't have a negative length. Alright, so you need to come back down here, and to get that very last mark, you need to say that since the sides must be positives, or since the lengths must be positive, then the only solution is 13. Alright, so pretty hard mark to get, but it is the last question on the paper. Alright, and that's the end of it.